Hey guys, welcome to the Johnny and KP show. Not sure who's in the chat now. Johnny's running a little bit late, but he is going to pop straight into the chat so we can get into this. Before we get going, let's look at what's going on in the chat. It's been going a bit wild while I've been gone. So who's here? The big man's here. Chris C's here. Mr. Lachlan is here. HFD are obviously here. They're talking, letting it be known what's going on. Some talk about quarantine, I can see. So tonight we're going to be doing a recap on the Manchester United season that has just passed. When Johnny G gets in here, we can obviously get um, his thoughts on all that. But before we do that, anyone that's here, please remember to like, share, comment, subscribe, all those cool things. So what's going on, guys? How are we all? How is everyone? Before we get into the uh, uh, Rob says Manchester is sky blue again. You know what, Rob? I was going to say it was on the final day of the Premier League season. It was the first time ever, I think, that Manchester was won because United were going for you guys. Obviously, you guys were going for you guys. And when City went 2-0 down, I was worried. I thought Liverpool, man, they're going to go on and win a quadruple and all this. Then Man City turned it on, obviously, and got back, got back, so that didn't happen. And then obviously Liverpool lost the Champions League to Real Madrid. I'd still a Champions League title, Rob says. Yeah, I would definitely love the Champions League. Well, at least you can say you were in a shout. You were in the competition. We were gone by when? Who'd we lose to? Atletico Madrid, which is something we'll talk about when Johnny gets here. I'll just give the group a call one more time. 1 second, guys. My face has gone away because we're just ringing John on the group call. See what happens. No, it's still not there. Can't do things the easy way. Geez, yeah, I know. When you guys went 2-0 down, oh mate, I was worried. All hail Carlo Ancelotti. So is this correct? He becomes the first manager that's won the competition 4 times? And I'm not sure, Rob, you can tell us. Did he win it as a player as well? Um, I think he did. I think he did. We'll have to find that out. 1 moment. I'll do a little search here. As a player is Ancelotti also notably won the competition twice as a player in 89 and 90. There you go. So he's won it 4 times as a manager, twice as a player. So I guess he's a bit of Mr. Champions League, isn't he? I'd say Mr. Champions League. But you know, he did what a game Thibaut Courtois had when I'm looking back at it. Vinicius has really come of age. Benzema, don't know what more you can say, but Benzema is what 34, and he scored 45 goals this season, 15 Champions League goals. Great effort on his behalf. Great effort on his behalf. Yeah, so enough talking about all these guys that are winning everything. Let's talk about the team that wins nothing at the moment, which we never thought we'd ever say that, which is Manchester United. So the season's over. Obviously, we'll get John's thoughts when he comes in, but absolute terrible season. Started terribly, obviously, with Ole at the helm. He got sacked after 4-0 loss to Watford. He really should have been sacked after the Liverpool game when we got spanked at Old Trafford by Liverpool. Got another 2, 3 games or something. Then they brought Ralph in, and in my opinion, he probably did worse than Ole. Like I don't know, he just Oh, I think one moment, guys. John is just coming in now, so I'm just going to put an intermission. I just got to fix you up. All right, guys. John is there. I'm just going to have to move you around a little bit. Hey?
It's killer. I get to see your face. I never see Christopoulos.
Oh, because of the thing that he does, yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know.
1 second. I'm just trying to fix it.
I'm
We're
watching it live, man.
I know we're currently live, and you're like here, and I'm trying to fix the.
I see my face on live.
Yeah, you're there now. John was KP then.
I'm there now.
You see, because I'm trying to put him in. It's hilarious. Yeah, you're in. I just got to get myself.
JG.
I just got to get myself back in now.
Don't worry yourself, man.
Well, I'm just gonna be nothing there. Everyone can just hear me and just see you. That's hilarious.
Oh, maybe a cup of water.
How do we get this again?
I got mine now, Fred.
That's the best.
Maybe I can.
I've got to. How do I get you?
We are live. I don't know what's happening.
1 second, guys. We'll be back in 1 second. All right, guys, we are back. John is here.
We're
We're
back.
blaming him for everything. We are back. Pretty sure. Hopefully, can everyone hear John and myself? Hopefully, we can.
I don't know, man. I'm sitting on the airplane by myself now.
Yeah, I left you on the airplane, and but no one else can see that.
Oh,
We are back. We are back. The live background's here. Hopefully, let us know, guys. Can everyone hear me and John? I'm pretty sure you should be able to hear him. But yeah, so
testing,
nah,
testing.
he's all right. So let's get straight into it. I was talking about it just before you came in, and I said it's been pretty abysmal season. Started off with Ole, who got sacked. I said obviously after the Watford game, where he probably should have got sacked after the Liverpool game and got given a few extra games. And then I was right in the middle of saying then Rangnick came in, and I think he did an bang average job. I actually think he did worse than Ole. When there was all this hype around him, I think he listen, I don't know why Austria gave him a job as manager. I think, listen, he might be able to build football clubs, and I'm not. I've always said I don't profess to know heaps about him, but as a manager, he could not cope with Man United, and that's, I think, just like blatant. And the fact that the news has come out today, obviously, it's in our headline that Rangnick has parted ways with the club. They said it was mutual consent. What do you think? Do you think he got sacked? What's going on there?
Well, you know, the term mutual consent can be, perceived in all different ways. I heard a lot of people say that the club's forced him out, but you don't really know at the end of the day. Yes, yes, he didn't do a good job, replacing Ollie, which to me seems like an eternity
I
away.
know
That's how
it's
long
crazy, isn't it?
this season's been dragged out. But yeah, you're right. He didn't do a good job. Yeah, I think it was a tough job to do. You know, you there's a good argument there that most other managers that they could have got may have done slightly better. They might have got fourth place. But yeah, look, I'm just glad the season's over, and I've never been so happy for a season to be over. And yeah, the Rangnick thing, I do believe that he got pushed out in the end. I think he would have been willing to help bring players in and help work with Ten Hag, telling him who's been bad, who's been good, sort of thing. But I think Ten Hag's been left at a bit of a disadvantage now without that sort of stuff. Unless you can just talk over the phone or whatever. He's willing to just tell him,
See,
hey, that guy's a bad egg,
I
or
think they still had a parting meeting, like you're saying. I think he still had a
yeah,
parting meeting with Randy. But Rob is saying here he's guessing Ten Hag probably said, I don't want him there, which could be another thing. Maybe
yeah. Well,
maybe he didn't
that's
even
it. We
want him.
just don't know.
Yeah, exactly.
Mm. But yeah, look, I don't hate Rangnick. I
No,
don't hate
no, no,
Ollie,
no.
but it's just both managers aren't good enough for Man United, really.
Yeah,
And
yeah.
and the players that we have right now, majority of them haven't been good for Man
Ah,
United. Good enough for
spot
Man
on.
United anyway. So the whole club as a whole is in a bad place right now. And Ten Hag is taking over one of the greatest football clubs in the world, and it's one of its in
It's in its
dire
worst. It's the
straits.
worst we've seen it.
Yeah, definitely the
It
worst we've
might not
seen.
be the worst my dad's seen it or your dad, but it's the worst we've seen it.
Well, no, United's been relegated before, so there's been darker times. But I mean, the size of our club now and the money we got behind it, and you know, we shouldn't be this bad,
Yeah. Yeah,
really.
yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
Well, see, Rob makes a point exactly what I say anyway. He goes, I still blame the Glazers. United squad was a very good team on paper. And
Mm.
that's the point I make is so Tottenham, I think, were 3 or 6 points behind us at the same time. I'm not 100% sure how many it was, but they got Conte, got
Mm.
fourth spot, where notoriously they got a bad owner as well, just like us. We
Yeah.
went around this merry-go-round, didn't, if you wanted someone, go get him. You know what I mean? Look at Tottenham now in the Champions League. With a Listen, they
Yeah.
got Harry
And they were,
Kane, Son, and that Kulusevski, but the rest of their squad, maybe Lloris, is pretty bang average.
Yeah, I mean, if you comb through their squad, they haven't got the they've got a couple world class players there in Kane and Son. But yeah, their midfield they haven't got really superstars there, and
Yeah.
same with the defense. So you can say Conte's improved their playing
Yeah,
performance.
definitely. So
Uh,
Rob says, as players, you guys, what makes you lose respect for a coach? How does a coach maintain respect of superstars? Well, by no means am I a superstar, but I I've had coaches that have ripped me everything, and as long as think they're not favoring, not just picking people for the sake of a name or whatever, and they're just you're getting picked on merits, I usually tend to keep respecting them. That's me personally.
mm,
But I
I
don't even think
mean,
that's happening at United. They're saying, like, why was Maguire still getting picked? Why was Shaw still getting? Players were getting picked that they weren't performing. That makes you lose respect for a coach, I think.
yeah, I mean, look, end of the day, players they want to play football.
Yeah.
Um, But the amount of money these players get paid, they should have more professionalism to
Of
say, hey,
course, of
look,
course.
the club's paying me X amount. I gotta, even if I'm sad about so or not agreeing with some decisions, I still gotta put my 100% in and be
Of
professional.
course.
And and that's what a lot of our players haven't done this season,
Of course.
regardless of Rangnick or Ole. So the players got a lot to,
Oh, they've got a lot
us
to
as
answer
fans.
for.
Yeah, we're not going to forget what our players
Oh,
have
no
done
way.
this year. So it's, I loved a lot of these players over recent years, and now
You
like
don't want to borrow
as
them, mate.
me and you have spoken privately, my thing against Rashford at the moment,
Oh, but
United
it's the
loves
whole
Rashford.
squad, the whole fan base is against him. It's not just you.
Yeah, and certain other players that I'm glad are leaving.
Oh,
I'm glad
definitely.
Pogba's leaving. I'm glad Lingard's leaving. Um, so yeah, there's a lot that I wish more were leaving. That's how much the squad has discussed me of their performance this year.
Oh, 100%. Like, so Rob says what we're saying, goes, agree. He goes, Spurs are average, except up front, exactly like I said, they're front three, and you said it. And he goes, Arsenal not that great either. And I agree. And they finished above us. Like Arsenal, I mean, if you go through their team player for player, like we're better. Ramsdale's not as good as De Gea. I don't care what any Arsenal fan says. Like
Yeah,
their centre
they
backs are
got
not
some.
as good as up front. We've got Ronaldo for God's sake.
Yeah, they got some young talent coming through Arsenal. That's one thing you could sort
Yeah,
of, um, maybe be something to build it towards. I guess add some experience
yeah.
into that squad, and they might be do even better. So
Yeah. So Rob said Southgate just came out and said Maguire is still England's best defender, as quoted by Southgate apparently. Rob says, what about Smalling at Roma? He just won a European trophy, albeit conference, whatever, still won something. And the other guy in AC Milan, yeah, Tamori. Tamori just won the Serie A. Like, and it doesn't get picked
yeah,
anymore. Like,
we must be living in the Matrix or something, man. Like everyone can see something in Maguire that obviously United fans.
well, it's not just United
I
fan.
don't,
Rob's a Man City fan, and he's laughing.
yeah, I mean, I think because United's such a big club and everyone knows when there's a Man United player not playing well, especially with the fans that we got. So it's a bit like if Man City have one of their better players being shit,
Yeah,
but it's not as publicized as a Man
yeah,
United
of
player.
course, of
So
course. So, well,
and just to stir up Rob Drusetta, even them winning the Premier League, Man United finishing seventh or whatever is bigger news than
it probably was.
than
It
than,
probably was.
than Man City winning the Premier League.
Well,
So
so talking about Maguire, that touches us on to the first topic we're going to talk about. So transfers coming in. Apparently, from what the big channels are saying, like United Stand and all that, De Jong, the De Jong move really has legs at the moment. They're talking about it like, yep, they want to sell him because they need money and they think he's the only player that can generate money. They don't really want him to go, but they know his money. And then the other one is Timber, which apparently has is 90% done. They reckon everyone's saying it. So what does that say for Maguire? Apparently today there was a video put out by Stretford Paddock that they said apparently it's confirmed United in talks with Torres and Timber. So that's two centre backs. What does that say? What are you
Well,
thinking if you're the captain of the club now, Harry Maguire?
I've actually, I was speaking of Alia, and he told me Timber's actually a right back. So
He's
I
not.
would,
He played centre back for Ajax, but he fills in at right. He plays right back for Holland.
okay.
But
So yeah,
he's
look,
Ajax's main centre back, and he's lightning. That's why they put him at right back sometimes.
okay. Um, yeah, well, it tells me that you know Ten Hag wants to build from the back. And obviously he's looking at that back line and who does he trust? You know what I mean? Like,
Hmm.
I don't think he likes the look of both all the fullbacks at the
I
squad,
wouldn't either.
and he probably only looking at maybe Varane as a centre
And
back.
that's
So
on reputation.
yeah, yeah, exactly. So um, I mean, you tell me Timber and Dejong, they sound like obviously Ten Hag signings, which you know builds a bit of confidence in me that the club's backing him because of the
Yeah,
prior
yeah, yeah.
connections he's had with Dejong and obviously Timber.
Yeah.
So
Well, in saying that, Richard
I hope,
Arnold did come out and say he goes, "This is a new era. It's not going to be a
yeah,
Woodward era." So hopefully that's a sign on what you just said that they're backing him, and like that's
yeah. But it wouldn't be enough just two of those players.
no
They have
way.
to, you know what I mean. I think they've definitely we need a striker, and yeah, I reckon a fullback and another midfielder.
Yeah, I
I
agree.
think
I
yeah,
agree.
you'd have to get 5 or 6 players in, especially with the amount of players they're going to lose.
See, I was saying in
So
midfield, I don't know why they need midfielders. Apparently, it's real they reckon it's advanced with Neves as well, and Neves has said he's
mm,
leaving Wolves. They don't know where. So I mean, I'll take De Jong
mm,
and Neves, but the other one I would look at him. I mean, they're not looking at him, but if I was United, he's got 1 year left on his contract. I would be in for Tielemans. Like I don't see, he's got 1 year left. They can't take us to the cleaners with a price when he's got 1 year left on his contract.
yeah, I mean, it all comes down to the style of play. Ten Hag wants to play. I hear he's sort of likes the Pep
Well, he was
way.
his assistant, wasn't he? So
Was it like death by a thousand
yeah,
cuts sort of
pretty
thing?
much.
I'm
Well,
not
he
sure.
likes
Like,
playing 4-3-3, but he likes those two midfielders pretty much holding because he plays a real high line. That's why he wants quick centre backs. That's why from the get go everyone's saying Maguire can't play in his team because he plays on the halfway line. That's how he plays. And Maguire's just
yeah,
too
I
slow.
mean, yeah, but that's it. Look, I do think Maguire's going to get a chance under Ten Hag.
I think everyone will
I
that
think,
stays.
yeah. So yeah, it's hard to tell. Like, I think United are going to get linked to pretty much everyone again, and we're going to hear some wild
Oh,
stories coming
definitely.
out. I just hope they find the right
Yeah.
players, really, players that are hungry to play for the
Yeah,
club,
definitely.
and I hope De Jong's not looking at this as a cash thing.
Well, the
Um,
way I don't think it is because I think he gets more at Barca. That's why they're trying to offload him because they pretty much did what we did for years, gave these outlandish wages, and they've got to get
yeah,
him off that wage and get, let's say, 60 million for him. It's because they're in debt, like everyone knows. And I don't think he's even going to get
mm,
as much with us. But the fact that he knows Ten Hag made him, he that's why they're saying he wants to come to United. Okay, like so, which is a good thing. And then, like we said, Neves, Wolves to Man United is a step up. So that's got to be about football. Even Tielemans, like Rob said here, Tielemans ready to go up another level. He goes, I like him a lot. And I'm saying these guys, Leicester to United is a step up, isn't it? Wolves to United is a step up. Obviously, Barca to United is level playing field in terms of club size. But if they're saying to you, man, we're selling you because we want to generate money, why you don't? I wouldn't want to stay with them because they're pretty much saying we want you gone.
mm, mm. Yeah, it's going to be interesting. I think obviously Ten Hag will be seeing at his squad and seeing the people that are exiting, and he'll be wanting players for sure. Um, if he gets his first choices or not. it's up for
Yeah, well, that's what they're
debate.
saying. They're
But
saying Timber is first choice, Torres is second. Dejong is first choice,
okay.
Neves is second. That's like whatever. If that's true, who knows? But
Yeah, so obviously they need players to play his style of
yeah,
play, and I'm pretty sure those players can sort of
yeah,
do it.
yeah.
So um, yeah, not too sure. He's got a big job, man.
Oh,
He's got
he's
a
got a
huge job,
massive job.
and
He's got a massive job.
we're going to have to be patient, especially this first season. There might be ups and
Oh,
downs.
definitely. So the other story that's been
So
coming out today, going on to you said about a striker, apparently they're
yeah.
saying Nunes has legs. I don't know how fast the legs are moving, but apparently the talk is United are
Mhm.
trying to say to them, we'll give you some money plus Anthony Martial, which I actually think is a good idea because Martial go to Benfica, maybe that's your level, you who knows? And Nunes is ready to make the step up,
Well,
maybe, I don't know.
so what happens? Obviously, no one at Benfica gets paid the amount of money Martial gets.
Exactly.
So
So I don't know what happens there with money wise, but
yeah, either he takes a significant
or we're
pay
paying
cut
his
in
wage
that,
like we did with Sanchez.
or we pay a portion of his wages for the rest of his days.
Well,
So
what's he got left on his I know he didn't sign one lot. Maybe it's 3 years left with us. I'm not 100% sure, but
yeah, he'd probably have about three
which,
years, I'd say.
I don't know. I don't know how true any of that is, but that was another story that,
Because I'm pretty sure he's on
yeah, he
200
would be.
plus.
Definitely. Well, I don't know anyone in our squad that isn't. Like, Hannibal's probably on 200 plus, hasn't played a game.
Yeah, well, Mata, I think, was before he's leaving this year. So
Rob says, how old is Wilfred Zaha? May he return? I actually think he's hitting 30, Rob. I don't think he's. I think he likes being the big man in the big fish in a small pond.
no,
Yeah, I think
28,
he's
I'd
either
say,
28, 29.
because of the
Yeah,
FM save.
probably.
I
But
remember.
I think he likes being a big fish in a small pond. That I actually think he likes it. It's him.
Yeah, I think it proved that it didn't work for Man United when he come back
Or do
to
you
our
think it
squad.
would have
So
worked for him though? He was Ferguson's last ever signing. If Alex Ferguson managed another year though, I think it would have.
yeah, I mean, look, Ferguson's a different type of manager. He could, you can tell by, winning the league
That
with,
team
smashed it until when Moyes
we
come
finished
in.
seventh.
He couldn't get the best out of the players, which Ferguson could get the best out of the
Yeah.
players. So, he probably would have got the best out of
Oh, I mean,
Zaha for
that
sure.
I always think about that, like how you're just saying it. Then people are like, oh, our midfield shit. We need 6, 7 players, and I always think back. I'm like, mate, Alex Ferguson won the Premier League with Tom Cleverley and Anderson in his midfield. And if you're telling me that's a
Yeah,
great, like, please, he just made the team play how he wanted it to play and motivated the players, and they performed.
yeah,
So
yeah. Well, let's hope Ten Hag, yeah, can get that out of the players. Look, he's got a pretty good rep
yeah.
on him. So
So
yeah, we've got
the
to wait.
other Chris Christopoulos says, can United bounce back next season? And he says, is this Zoom? It's not Zoom because we're using Skype because Zoom, yeah, unless you pay for it, you can only do 40-minute calls. So Zoom is actually better quality, but we're using Skype. So because, we're only a small time channel at the moment. We will get to Zoom, don't worry. But yeah, so what do you say about his question there? Can United bounce back next season? It all depends what you mean by bounce back, in my opinion. I think they can make top four with Ten Hag, but
Yeah, I mean,
maybe win a domestic
top
cup,
forward.
maybe.
It's back to the drawing board, really. So, um, getting back into the Champions League would be the priority. I don't think any of us would expect the title
No,
challenge. I'd be fairly surprised. Um, Liverpool are losing a couple players, which are key for them. That could
big,
drop them
big.
down a peg. But on the other side, Man City are
Buying Haaland.
bringing in Haaland and whoever. So I think Man City will be the team to beat
I think so.
again, unfortunately. So
I think the way Klopp reacted after the Champions League final, he sort of knew. that was their chance to win that title, that maybe they might not be able to win it next year. He was,
I mean, Mane's a
yeah,
big player
huge
in that,
loss, man.
and that could be a domino
Yeah,
effect for
yeah.
Liverpool right there. You know what I mean? That's like end of
Oh,
era
big
sort of
time.
styles.
Like, oh yeah, yeah.
Not saying that they're going to be
No, no, no,
crap,
no.
but they'll definitely be the second
Yeah,
best
yeah, yeah.
team next year, if not maybe the best if they turn it
Well,
up.
it all
But
depends. You don't know. Chelsea got a new owner. He might go and spend 300 million for a winner. We don't know.
yeah, I think Chelsea got a lot of
Yeah,
issues
they
too that
do.
they need
And
to
the
become
team that
as
I
good
would
as.
actually worry about is on like for us because we're not going to win the title is Tottenham because Conte is not staying there unless he's been told he's getting money.
Well, they've already signed Perisic,
Exactly. So
I think it was a
they
free
already
transfer.
finished above us.
So
We know Conte is a serial winner, and if he gets the players he wants as well, they're going to be hard to get out of that top four. So who do you get out? Is it Chelsea? Is it, you know, when you actually look at it
I mean, you
properly,
got to look at
Newcastle,
Newcastle, see how much they spent.
Villa spending big as well.
It's going to be a tough season next year. Um, there's
I
no
think our
doubt.
best. I think Ten Hag.
Uh,
I know it's early doors. I actually think he'll go on to win the Europa Cup, something like that, and then we'll get into the Champions League that way. Because he does well in
yeah,
Europe, and I think he might do it. He might do a Mourinho sort of thing and think, hey, let's put some eggs in that basket and go for that. And I don't know.
do you think this is a bit of dilemma that Ten Hag might have right now? Is yeah, he likes the possession sort of quick game, which he uses
Yeah,
all 11 players on
yeah.
the park, but De Gea's had another great season as a shot blocker, reflex saver, unbelievable. One of the best keepers I've ever
Of
seen in that
course.
regard, right? But when it comes to distributing with his feet, not the
But see,
greatest.
I was
So
watching Ferdinand was
is
talking
that
about this.
is that a problem that it reminds me of like how when Liverpool bring in
Yeah, yeah, of
Allison,
course. Oh,
but
yeah, of course.
Allison was a bit known,
Yeah, of
around the
course.
world before he came to Liverpool. But Man City did it with cutting Hart loose and
Yeah,
bringing
of
Edison
course.
in. Same with little. Well, you've seen Chelsea change. Spent big on that keeper that didn't work out. And they went for
Kepa, yeah.
Mendy. Yeah. So it happens, man. You know what I mean?
I
Like
don't think
these
it's a problem
high-profile
next
keepers.
year, but I think, year or two. But the thing I say about it is I think we've got to give him a chance with Ten Hag because like Ferdinand was talking about it and he said he goes when he played with De Gea, he goes De Gea's actually really good with his feet. He goes he doesn't think Maguire and that give him the options to be good with his feet. And
I've
he
seen.
thinks that comes down to coaching, whereas maybe Ten Hag's coaching will open up the play and give. I don't know, who knows?
Well, it's an interesting debate because look, I love De Gea, and he'll go down as one of our best keepers
He
ever been
has
at
to.
Man United.
He's
That's
top
for
three, I
certain.
think.
Um, yeah, definitely. It's just the yes, it's the distributing, it's the
Yeah, of
ball moving
course. I
around.
get it.
So um, I'm not sure. Like it'll be a shocker if they did for sure.
Yeah, I
So
don't think he. I think he'll stay this season. And listen, I hope he proves everyone wrong and he shows this and he's good with his feet. And it was down to our coaches and things like that. See, Rob has said here on your topic, he goes, De Gear's distribution doesn't think will be a problem. He goes, Ajax's keepers weren't that great. It means the back lines move quicker and more around the pitch, to give him options. So,
yeah,
maybe that's a thing. Who
I mean
knows?
the Premier League's much more
Of
faster
course, of
than the
course.
Dutch league. That's it. So
So he's saying he's
that's
saying
another
what I
thing,
said.
and
He
that's
goes,
another thing.
agree, coaching, when not to pass, who to pass. And then the other thing I put it down to is, what play, I, I know what players are like. You don't know if it's going through De Gea's head. He sees Maguire and thinks, I'm not passing to him.
I've actually seen a funny clip of him ignoring
There you
Maguire
go.
once,
So
and
that
just
puts him.
he ignored it that much that he stuffed it up and kicked it
Well,
out. You
that's
know
what I
what I mean?
mean. Whereas he might get to a point where it's like, listen, Ten Hag is like, you do this, this, and this, or you're not playing, and he might start playing it, and he might have confidence in whoever it is, Varane, Timber. Torres, whoever's
Mm.
playing, but you hit the nail on the head. Like players are like that, mate. There's players that are like, I'm not passing to him. I know he's going to lose it, and they don't. It happened everywhere. It happens at every level.
Yeah, well, that's right. So it's going to be interesting because look, if you're going to play out of defense a
Yeah.
lot, you know what I mean. You got to have four, those four
Yeah.
back men better be good
Oh, of
passes,
course.
and you know what I mean. So
And our backline's terrible.
yeah, you know what I mean. So like Deloy can attack, but sometimes he can't hit a target at all. Whipping crosses in,
And
he
so,
just cross after cross is just
we,
flying everywhere. And and you got Shaw who he can get into form,
yeah,
like he can
yeah. If
have a
he
good
gets
run, and
going, yeah,
then he can go
yeah,
really
I agree.
sideways, man. So
Well, you know what cracks me up?
it's
They
hard.
always go on about we need the modern day fullback is attacking, is this and that. Who cost Liverpool the Champions League final? A fullback because he couldn't defend.
Oh,
But Trent
was it
Alexander-Arnold has back
which
turned.
with the
Yeah,
Vinicius
but like if
scored
he
on
if
that
he
side,
had
did he?
a
Yeah.
defensive mindset, he wouldn't have let that goal happen.
Some say that goal was offside.
What about the one that got disallowed? In your opinion, they said it got disallowed because two men had to be behind the ball unless it was deliberately played by a Liverpool player. And Adam McCullough said it. Fabinho tackled the ball into Benzema, so he deliberately tackled the ball, didn't he? So why is it
Hmm.
offside then? He deliberately did it.
I don't know. I'm just
Oh,
happy
I agree,
Liverpool
but what
lost.
I'm
So
saying is,
at this
they
point,
always go on about attacking fullbacks, these attacking keepers. But what won Real Madrid the game? A goalkeeper that stopped shots, had nothing to do with his
yeah,
distribution, and then a fullback for
yeah,
Liverpool that can't defend. It's synonymous. They know Alexander Arnold can't defend. Everyone knows it. Everyone says it. Like Rashford
mm.
gives him baths even when he's in bad form.
Yeah.
Like it's
Um,
just I don't know. But
so
like
yeah,
I would,
like,
like
and does Marcus fit in the system where it's a possession
yeah,
based
yeah.
team?
I know, I get it. It's like, but you know what I mean? Like Ancelotti comes out the other night and he plays a defensive game where everyone said, "Oh, you can't play like that anymore." He won the Champions League, mate.
Well, it goes to show
Oh,
Ancelotti's
he
such a good
is.
coach. He
Yeah, of
adapts to
course.
he will adapt to what
Yeah,
team he has, who he comes up against, and that's why he's got so many Champions League
yeah,
trophies in
that's
his
right.
cabinet.
Exactly right.
Um,
Rob is saying so. Playing out of defence also means long balls to feet. He goes, AC Milan were masters of this because the forwards knew how to create space, get into areas, things like that.
yeah, well, those defenders back then were world class in that Milan team. If I'm thinking correctly of that team, that was
Yeah,
superstar.
well, he's
And they were ballers, man. They could pass the ball, like midfielders. So
like, yeah, I know. It's I don't know. It just, what cracks me up? I was saying it like, so Ancelotti ended up knocking out Chelsea, Liverpool, and Man City, right? Knocked out all three English
y-
teams, and everyone was saying Man United can't get Pochettino because it's a disgrace that PSG lost to Madrid, and now they've won the Champions League.
yeah, I mean, look,
So they
it's an
can't be that bad.
unbelievable run to win
Ah,
that
it's one of the
Champions
best
League.
runs
You
I've
know what I
seen
mean?
in a long time.
Unbelievable run. They probably knocked off every
Well,
best
they
team.
not
Uh,
everyone says Liverpool, Man City, the best two teams in Europe, beat both of them, beat Chelsea, who were the reigning
yeah,
European champions. What,
yeah,
mate?
and
And
PSG obviously.
PSG. Jeez, what a run.
Yeah, amazing run. They just missed out on beating Bayern.
Yeah,
That's
that's it.
that's all it was. So
Listen, I know we're on a United show, but Benzema's got to win the Ballon d'Or. If he doesn't, something's wrong. I don't know what's wrong if he don't win the Ballon d'Or.
yeah, animal. Definitely player of the
Oh,
knockout
man, he
stage in
scored
the finals.
15 goals, dude, in the Champions League this season.
I'm not sure about the group stages what happened, but in the final series,
Well, he scored
gun.
15 goals in the whole competition. That's ridiculous.
Yeah,
So
amazing. And he's in his 30s, I believe.
34, I think. Rob says no, no,
Yeah,
JG. Even under pressure, the defenders were told where to clear the ball to the forwards, where to anticipate where to be. Yeah, oh, that's what I think John's saying that those players were ballers, weren't they? So
yeah.
we could kill for a couple ballers in our team. All right. So what we'll,
Yeah,
we'll
look,
end on is what percentage? What would you say? Where would you be at with Dejong coming in? Do you want him to come in, and do you think it will happen?
Um, do I want him to come in? The thing is, look, I know he's class, but you know what I mean. It sort of because we've been burnt with world class players coming into the squad, it has that little
Well,
salt
the
in my
only thing I
mouth.
say the difference about him is he's only 24. The other ones that came in are all,
Yeah,
Sanchez was 30. What,
yeah, he's like one of those really early
yeah, he's
bloomers. De
young,
Jong, he
so
becomes a superstar real quick. Um, but look, 24 is a great age. He's gonna, they say your prime years are from now to your
yeah,
whatever
exactly.
30.
So
Um, so look, I hope I want him to come for the right
yeah,
reasons. You know what
yeah,
I
yeah,
mean? Like he realizes Man United is a project. It's not you're not walking into a team where you're going to be probably winning a trophy in the
yeah.
first year. And if he's willing to be hungry and play for the squad and really, really give it 110% for Ten Hag, then yeah, I'm all for it, man. And I hope it happens. But I was really hoping that would get sort of that sort of midfielder that it's sort of not well
Yeah, yeah,
known
yeah,
yet.
yeah.
A guy through. I know. I wish our scouts could just, because I could tell you go
Yeah,
get De
well,
Jong. You know
the
what I mean? You
thing is,
could say
I don't
go
think
get
it's
De
on.
Jong.
I actually don't think this is on the club. I think it's just that Ten Hag has either been told, listen, he can get him, and he had him as a player. That's where the deal. I don't think United were
Mm,
going to get him if Ten Hag wasn't the manager. I don't think it would be in for him. That's the way I put it.
mm. But if you tell me, look, yes or no right now, do you want De Jong? I'll probably say
Yeah.
yes.
Well, listen, the other midfielder they're talking about, and there's been huge debates about this going on. I don't know if you've heard them over the past week. He's in the last year of his contract. Apparently, Tuchel does not want him, and they're saying that United could get him for under 20 million. Is Kante
How old's Kante?
32? I think they said, and they're saying the question is, do you take him for 20 million just for a couple of years? And I say yes. If it's 20 million, what's 20 million? We paid that for Dan James.
Yeah, so
I'd take him. If I'd take him,
um,
listen, I'd take the
we
risk
we
on him.
yeah, so we keeping like I'm saying like you get Kante, so he plays the Fred role. Is
Well,
that the
I'm
sort of
guessing so.
thing?
He's gonna. That's how he.
Yeah, because when we talk about last season, right? I believe Ronaldo and De Gea were our
By
best players,
far,
but
country
country
mile.
mile. But I think in the next two or three players after that, Fred's got to
Yeah, I
for
think
me
so.
would be one of
But
them.
then see, Roberts said
So
here what's happening with Donny. Donny's coming back to play because Ten Hag has said I'm playing him. So next year, like let's say De Jong
look,
comes in, you've got
yeah,
to looking
you
at a
need.
midfield that could be De Jong, Donny, Fred.
Well, you got Europa League this year, so you need to rotate throughout out the
Yeah,
midfield. So and the amount of midfielders that are leaving the club, about
yeah,
four. So I wouldn't be surprised if you get like a Kante and De
yeah.
Jong in. But look, if you can get Kante for
I
20
take him.
million, it's pretty good deal. It just depends.
I
32,
still take
yeah,
him for 20 million. Because listen, he's got the World Cup at the end of the year. He's going to want to play to get in that World Cup.
yeah.
Like listen, you can get De Jong for 60, Kante for 20, Donny van de Beek's coming back. That's all of a sudden you've got Donny, De Jong, Kante, Fred, McTominay. That's just off the top of my head. And then you got Hannibal. Garner just got promoted with Nottingham Forest. Apparently was best on ground. So there's another one. Like
Mm.
that's seven off the top of my head that you've got. That
I was actually watching highlights of Gardner, and he looks like a real like
exactly.
player,
So
man.
that's what I'm saying. That's like seven midfielders. Central. That's not even counting Bruno as an attacking midfielder. Because I'm thinking he'll play out wide like Tadic did. That's like.
Yeah.
And then Rob says, what does the United
I
starting
just
11 look like in your opinion for 22-23?
Gee, I would like to get
Oh, me
back to
too. I don't
that
think you can
later on
answer
in
it.
the
Oh,
transfer.
then the next thing he said he's agreeing with you. Kante for 20 million for a rotating squad due to many games. He's saying definitely, and I agree.
Yeah, yeah. I honestly reckon United need new
Ah, big
fullbacks.
time,
If
big
they
time.
can pull off two new left and right fullbacks and bring in Timber as well, I think that would be huge. Plus the couple
Well,
midfielders and a striker.
touching on what you said
That'd be
earlier,
great.
listen, I'm not Ten Hag, Mark Goldbridge reckons it will never happen, but does Timber play right back for 1 year? I don't know. Who knows?
Well, look, because yeah, like Ali is not the only one that's told me that
No, he plays there
you
for
know
Holland.
Timber.
I'm telling you, he does. But for Ajax, he plays centre
Yeah,
back.
and if you get, and especially if he gets Torre, if they get both of them, then you can really see Timber playing right back a
Exactly.
lot.
Well, apparently he's rapid.
Because you got Varane, you got obviously Maguire's there, and you got Lindelof will be
Yeah.
there. But Bailly and Jones, I'm not sure what Twanzebe is going to be doing.
Well, he's coming back to the club. We got blokes. We're forgetting about them, John. We're forgetting about
Yeah,
Tonzibi, Pereira. They're coming back to the club, bro.
yeah. Well, I've heard Pereira's going to be
He
sold. I
has
think
to.
there's interest in Pereira, and a lot of players are coming back. Diallo's coming back. I don't know if he'll get another loan spell, but I can see like a player like Sancho really thriving under
Yeah,
Ten
I
Hag. That
agree.
sort of
I agree. I think he.
little spaces here and there, tiki
Oh,
taka, getting possession.
yeah, I agree.
I can see a big improvement from
I
Sancho
think
next
he'll be
season.
like Tadic was for him. He played free role, just, did what he wanted. See, Rob has said in the chat, Luke Shaw. So what are your thoughts on him? You said before he can be good and then he can just be terrible.
Look, Luke Shaw's he's won a Player of the Season for us before, and he's not bad, but he's not. I don't know. I don't know. It's hard because it's sort of like a frustrating
Yeah,
player
yeah,
to me. He needs to get super fit and a lot of consistent games
yeah.
to get to Luke Shaw peak. If he once he gets a few niggles and a few little setbacks, it's hard for Luke Shaw.
So
So
that year he won Player of the Year that you're talking about, it was whatever it was recently. But I still
yeah,
don't even think that Luke Shaw was as good as the Luke Shaw we saw under Van Gaal before he broke his leg.
yeah, it's like he was young. Luke
Yeah,
Shaw
that's what
was
I
young,
mean. And
especially
that
at
way, and then he comes to
Southampton.
United and under Van Gaal that first 6 months, he was a gun,
Yeah,
bro.
yeah, and the older he's got, I don't know if it's body or what holding him back. He's
Maybe it's
just
what you always say. Maybe it's just Man United.
we're
We
career
are,
killers,
bro. We
man.
are.
But if I had the choice to replace him and replace Wan-Bissaka, I would say yes. I believe our fullbacks need upgrading.
Well, there's so
Yes.
many to go
So
for.
I'd like to see cut ties from Luke Shaw.
Yeah,
So
I agree. But
yeah.
there's so many we can go. Like on the right, like, they're talking about this Lamptey at Brighton. Apparently, this kid Spence at Nottingham Forest that just got promoted. Apparently, he's a gun. People are
That's
going
what
in
I
for
want to see.
him.
Like they got like Liverpool got Robinson.
Three
You know what I
million.
mean? They took. You know what I mean? That's United need to do this sort
Yeah.
of stuff. Like we got scouts
Yeah.
as well. We're supposedly have some of the best scouts in the world, but it
Please.
seems like we never use them. Like it's like we're playing FIFA and we're just picking like, oh yeah, everyone's heard of this bloke. Let's get
Yeah.
him.
Yeah.
Uh, and Luke and Alex Tellers is for me he's not good enough.
Well,
And
listen, he came. This is what I said. This is the United factor. All these people that
we've got Brandon Williams there
apparently
as
he's
well.
asked for a
So
transfer request. I'm told, but
yeah,
all these blokes that we're mentioning, the funny part about it is I agree with what you're saying. It's a United factor because they were all internationals before they were with us, and it's like we just
yeah,
bring them down. Chandy says, "Hey fellas, hey Chandy, how you doing?"
yeah. Yeah, a lot of players obviously regress this year. Um,
Yeah, it's just
yeah,
yeah, I
like
know what you mean.
they need to turn it around. So, but I think United, you can't. I don't know if you can buy all these players in the first transfer window. You
Uh,
know what I mean? Like it's a bit too much of a change, or it's just too much money that United
yeah,
don't
I
have.
don't think you can.
Obviously to spend.
Well, on that
So
note, let's get a before we leave, we'll get a prediction from you. The prediction is how many players do you think United will get in this transfer window, and who do you think will be the first signing?
I'm gonna go for five. I think United can do five. I think they have to do five really with the players, the amount of players on going out.
Yeah,
Um, I'd like to see one or two more.
I think we all would.
Well, that's really pulling at strings. But I'm going to go five. And Look, there's a lot of talk about Timber. Um, I do believe the first signing will be, is it Julian Timber? Is his
Jurien, I
name?
think, with an R. Yeah.
Julian
Uh,
Timber, which I'm excited for because I feel like he's one of those players, up
Yeah.
and coming players, and he definitely is a pick of Ten Hag. So I've no doubt that Ten Hag's picking him as the number one of the number one targets he
Yeah.
wants back there. So I'm going for Timber, and I'm going for five
You
players.
know what? We did this on the AFL podcast, and I completely agree. I reckon that's what we're going to get, and I think he'll be the first one. Rob says, "Do you know how much they intend to spend?" I think they're saying United's budget is,
There's a
well,
lot of
apparently they're
rumours.
saying the budget is 150 to 160 million pounds, and but that's without outgoings. Apparently Henderson's going to Newcastle for close to 30. You got Jones, Bailly, Anthony Martial. And then you got apparently the money they're going to be saving on these other guys like Cavani, Pogba, Lingard, Matic on their wages apparently is ridiculous how much money it's going to bring into the club. So, I mean, effectively you could say the budget's going to be 200 million, but you don't know. It's who knows. With that, with 150 million and you can sell those five players, you got money. That's what I think to make. So, maybe Dejong is the big one,
Yeah, I
50,
mean,
60 million, but then you can have some, Nunes, it will be expensive if they go for him, but that could be
yeah, I
rumours.
mean, if they get Nunes and De Jong, that's a
That's
big chunk,
120
big
million
chunk.
gone, isn't it? It's done. But then the others, like you said, it could be this young guy from Nottingham Forest, Spence, or, who knows?
But the thing is, with these transfer budgets, is that just for the fees alone, or you got to add in signing fees, agent fees, all
I
this
don't
crap?
know. Who
going
knows?
around?
Who knows? Like the way the transfer world is these days, I don't think anyone can answer that question. And the thing is, with all these people that say they're in the know, no one's in the know with transfers at the moment either. I don't think it's all hearsay but you obviously hear
Nah,
things like, and I think you're right. I think Timber will be the first signing, and I actually do think we will get De Jong. Rob says makes Tielemans and Kante look like good options when you got that much budget, and that's what I'm saying. Like Tielemans last year of his contract,
yeah.
what's the most they can ask for? 30, 40? And they're saying Kante 20 because of his age. If you can get them
I
to
mean, that's
50
exactly
million,
right.
mate, you're laughing.
Exactly right. You know what I mean? When you're in Man United position right now, you need a fair few players. You've got to look for bargains, but you need to also not just get anyone
Yeah,
in.
that's right.
So, um, yeah, look, tough job, man. I'm glad I'm not making
Oh,
these
listen,
decisions.
I agree, but we've spoke about it personally before. What if Ten Hag brings glory back to this club? What will he be to you? I said it to you. I said he'd be like a god. He'd be like the second coming of Sir Alex. Even if he wins
He'll
one
be a
title,
legend.
he'd
He'll
like
be a
need a
legend,
statue just for one because
obviously.
the job he's got in front of him is monumental. But then again, you know what, man? A week ago, I saw AC Milan win the Serie A for the first time, and those guys were a powerhouse just like we were. It took,
And it took him, what,
yeah,
20
I'm not
years?
sure. Rob probably knows. I don't know how long ago it was. Maybe what, oh 08, I reckon. Maybe not 20 when they won the Champions League, oh 08, around there. They probably won the top, but
Yeah,
over 10 years, and they got it back. So there's
yeah.
nothing saying United eventually. Oh, it's going to happen eventually, but who knows when.
Has Milan always been the biggest Italian team, or
Well,
Juve's
Milan got the most
always?
Champions League titles, but I think Juve got the most Serie A's, I think. Maybe don't quote me. Rob might correct me there, but I'm pretty sure. Because Milan is second in the most Champions Leagues.
But
I
in
think
world
Milan are
sort
bigger.
of
I think
ranking,
so. I think
yeah.
Milan are bigger club. But I think so. Because they had, because of Europe at the time as well, and they were huge.
Yeah, the caliber of players
Yeah,
have gone through that club. But obviously, the Juve's had some
they
good
have,
players
but
too. And
there's some huge players that have played for all of them, mate. Like Pirlo played for both of
plus
them. Baggio
Inter,
played for
you've had
both of them. Baggio played for all three of them. Played for Juventus, Inter.
R9
He
was
he
Inter,
played for
wasn't
both
he?
of them. He played for AC at the end.
Who
Yep.
R9? Oh, there
Ah,
you go.
see, Rob said I was right. So AC Milan, like most UCLs, and Juve most CDRs. There you go.
Yeah.
All right. Well, on that note, we've given our prediction. We will surely be back. I just got a notification before I say it from the United Stand. It says United Stand
Mm.
is going live with Fabrizio Romano, so maybe we hear it here first. We can ruin his video. Timber and Dejong transfers close. So I don't know what that
Okay.
says. If he's got Romano on the show and that's the heading, that
Yeah, well, I hope the business concludes early, or most of it does anyway, so they can go on tour and they can
yeah,
pre-season
yeah, yeah.
together and gel a bit more together. So I hope they're not, deadline
Now,
day
well,
signings and
apparently
shit like that.
Ten Hag is quoted as I think he said it in his he goes, I want the signings there before they come because they're coming to Australia. He goes before we're on tour. He wants them done. He doesn't want signings in. He wants June to be the month of. He doesn't want them in July and then you know what I mean. So that's a good thing. But on that note, we will not be back every week with the United show at the moment, guys. Obviously, because it's off season. But if there's any big news, signings, and that, we will definitely come on. And I do have a subscription to MUTV, so when the friendlies are on, I might do a couple watch-alongs and see if we can get John signed in on it and get him in on them with me, because there might be a few good watch-alongs to do for some preseason friendlies that we can.
Oh my God. I love
Are
watching
the
the
best because
friendlies.
like last year I watched the friendly we played Everton, we won 4-0. I was like, we're the best, man. We win the league, and then we sucked. So you know. But yeah, on that note, if there's any big news in that, we will do some United shows. But yeah, we're not going to go live every week with them at the moment because obviously it's off season. But once the season proper starts, we'll be back with it weekly. And yeah, we'll be on to the next big news. Hopefully we can get some transfers in, and it's a big year ahead for Man United. Me and Johnny were absolutely distraught at the end of the year. Johnny said some things to me I never thought I'd ever hear him say.
Very
It was
upset.
very
Very
upset.
upset.
So, but yeah, on that note, everyone, Rob, Chandy, Chris is there. I mean, Mr. Lachlan was there. No, everyone was there. Thanks for watching. If there's any new guys in the chat, please remember to like, share, comment, subscribe, and we'll see you on the next one.
Later.